How's it going, everybody? You know who it is. My name is Sunwoo, and in today's video I'm gonna show you an amazing trick on the OPZ, which you may or may not have heard about, but you should definitely check out because it turns the OPZ into a very powerful multi-timbral synthesizer, which allows you to make sounds like this. As you can tell, it's quite easy to get started making some magic, but what makes it even easier for me is Magic Mind. I have a bottle of this every morning with my coffee because not only does it prolong the positive effects of coffee, like giving you energy, focus, and creativity, it also decreases the negative side effects like anxiety and jitters, and therefore helps you stay creative throughout the whole day. And on top of that, the founder of this is an avid OP1 user and a fan of this channel himself, and that's how I got offered this opportunity. So if you want to help support the channel and stay creative at the same time, check out Magic Mind, link and coupon code down in the description. Enjoy! As you probably already know, the OPZ has many tracks which you can play separately from one another, which can load different synthesizer or sampler engines in them. For example, here I've got my bass, my lead, my ARP, and my chords track. But I can also link these tracks together, which means that I can play them at the same time using only one input source. And the way I do it is by pressing track, and let's say we want the lead track to be our master track from which we play the other tracks. I go to the lead track, and now I hold track, hold the lead track, and now press the other tracks that I want to link to this track. So the chords, the arpeggiator, and the bass, and you can see they are flashing now. And now, if I enter any notes, it will play these four tracks all at once. Which of course allows for amazing sound design possibilities. Because I can still change whatever sound engine I have on the separate tracks. So I could go to the chords track and let's say select another engine here. And go back to my main track here. Or yet another one. Maybe this one. And as you can hear, this allows for really cool and layered sounds that you can also pan in the stereo field. So for example, the chords track here, as you probably heard, was panned to the right side of the stereo field. But we can also play with modulation because each of these tracks here, or at least these three tracks, have an LFO assigned to it. You can modulate different parameters in each layer and therefore create really interesting textures that are just way more intricate and interesting than one single sound engine of the OPZ can be. So let's play around with this a little bit. I start with the chords track. And it's already filtered, so it mainly has high end. Now I'm gonna assign an LFO, which I want to be, let's say, assigned to the panning. So I've got the LFO assigned to panning now. And now I could go to another sound and maybe also pan it, but at a different rate and in the other direction. let's go to the lead track and also assign it to panning, but in the other direction. And at a different rate. If I only play the lead track, I just press track and the lead track. Maybe at this slow rate. So if I play these two together now, you can hear super interesting texture and just combination of sounds. And then of course, if I add my bass line as well, of course, the bass can still only play one note at any given time, but let's add the arpeggio finally. You've got this super interesting combination of sounds that just makes one voice that might be interesting than 4 different voices combined. So you can focus on a single voice more and give it more attention, make it more interesting than having 4 different voices playing something completely different. So it just gives you another approach to making music. And in the same way, for example, a piano player only has a single instrument with which he will convey an emotion, tell a story, and create a song. You could craft your own single instrument that has multiple layers to it, which makes it more interesting, and then use this one instrument rather than playing different parts on separate, less interesting instruments. You can hone your one voice and make it as interesting as possible and try to craft something with this. But sadly, this leads me to the big limitation of this linking tracks feature, because yes, I can play these sounds all together now, which is really nice. But as soon as I enter it into the sequencer and play it back, you can hear it's only playing my lead synthesizer voice right now and ignores all the other tracks. And I really don't know why they implemented the feature this way, because if you can play the voices together while you're playing live, I think it should be possible CPU-wise and such to have the voices play if you have sequenced one of the tracks and then have all the other tracks linked to this one. I've already written to Teenage Engineering and I hope I will get an answer on this. If I do, I will make sure to let you know. But yeah, that's the limitation. Luckily though, at the moment, we can even work around this if we have a separate sequencer like the OP1, for example. So let me quickly hook up the OPZ to the OP1. All right, so I've got the OP1 field hooked up to the OPZ using the USB-C cable. And now I can use any sequencer on the OP1 field in order to control my OPZ. I have this track right here set to the correct MIDI channel, the one that I've selected on the OP1 field as well. I won't go through it in detail, but this track is listening to the OP1 field now. And now I can use any of the sequencers, as I said, on the OP1 field to play these 4 voices here, just like this. If you have the combination of these 2 devices or the OPZ and any other device, you see you can turn the OPZ into a super powerful multi-timbral module and create your own sounds, especially if you consider that this has a sampler in it, which I used in order to create these sounds because 2 of my tracks have a sample on them. You can just create super powerful sounds and textures, something the OPZ wasn't really capable of before, or rather, it has been able to do this with this feature for quite a while, but I certainly have overlooked it. And I still really hope they will implement in future that you can link the tracks and play them through this sequencer on its own, so you don't need another device attached to it in order to sequence all the sounds at the same time. And something I just discovered is that you can actually also link the tape track to any of the tracks, which can lead to some very weird results. Actually, let's also link the delay to this. And that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more like it, check the playlist over there. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell. And don't forget to check out Magic Mind, link and coupon code down in the description. Peace.